I built this extremely basic web analytics dashboard using PostHog's endpoints. It has everything you would need on a front-end web analytics, and we can add to it as we see fit. Here you can customize the date, right? So I'll say year to date. You can also add in different types of metrics very straightforwardly of saying, hey, it adjusts the y-axis independently. We could even add in page views if you'd like to, or lead events to see where those bumps are in time. We can also filter in here and say, hey, Google traffic, how is that trending? I can select that. So this is all built off of PostHog's endpoints. And if you're like, who the heck is this guy, JJ? I'm the founder over at VisionLabs. We are a analytics agency. We bolt onto companies serving product analytics, web analytics. So we are in this stuff all the time. And my team is much better than I at building these things, showcasing, and also getting action out of these things. What I'm going to do today is show you the process of doing this. This is a newer feature, so new in fact that PostHog doesn't even have pricing. So currently there is no pricing within PostHog. I'll show you their docs right here. Pricing is coming soon. This is as of March 6th, 2026. So first, what I would really encourage you, if you are not familiar with how dashboards work in general, is open up yourself a blank Google Sheet and say, what data do I need to have? Most of the time, you're going to want a date, just a picker there, just to really have a start point and an end point. We are then going to have, let's just say we want the number of users and we want the events, okay? Really straightforward. So in our future pace, we'll have January 1, 2026 would be the date. We'll then have users, which is going to be, I don't know, 400. And event could be, let's just say 1,000. All right. This is what the endpoint would return, right? You'd have a date, you'd have a user, you'd have events there. And the more data you add, right, the more data will be returned. So we call these by questions over at VisionLabs, where you currently have users and events broken down by date. Maybe we want to break it down by refer. Right? So here would be refer, like Google, and now we would have even more by questions there. For the sake of this example, I'm going to build something extremely straightforward. We're going to use date, users, and events. So let's hop into our PostHog dashboard. We are here in the demo sites of what I just showed you. And I'm going to show you where we can start. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into all apps, make sure you turn on beta and alpha versions. And we're going to go all the way down here under tools to endpoints. So let's now create a new endpoint. So I'm going to hit a new endpoint right here, and we're going to write a query. So I'm just going to really straightforwardly do copy and paste of this. So I want to have the date, the users, and events. I'm going to go over to HogQL and say, hey, write me some SQL. That produces a table with date, users, and event count, like this. All right, so I'm just going to completely cheat and use the HogQL. In my experience, it has been a great way to get moving quickly and a terrible way to make something that goes very fast, because some things are really complicated or overly complicated. And if you're not great at SQL, then it ends up being problems. So we're just going to run this. It's going to be a very straightforward thing. I'm going to say that's right. I'm not going to go check it, and just to make sure we have that there. So the thing you want to know is we have a where statement here. So we have a timestamp, which is today, which will be March 6th, and we're going to look at 30 days. We also have a limit here. We're limiting to 100. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove these in general, and I'll show you what happens. So if you remove any where statements, right, so if we comment these out with our little doot, and doot. I know there's ways to do that better, but we're just going to do that. What will happen now is we'll run all time, right? So here's all data here, and it's ordering by date descending and grouping by date. So if we just save this, the endpoint will return all this data every time that it asks. The next thing you're going to ask yourself is, well, what about filters? What about filters? You can then add in filters. It's really nice. You can use variables. They don't have built-in variables. So these are variables that we've created for the entire organization. So if you go to manage SQL variables, it should open up a new tab. So up in the top will be a new tab. And then you will see where you can add in new variables. Personally, I'm a big start date and end date. I know people use like toDate and from date. Start date and date is my go-to, but if you have anything else that you need to have as custom variables, you can create them here. They then populate throughout your PostHog account. So how do you use those? Great question. The PostHog AI really has a trouble time with it. We're going to try it out right now. So if I just put in here and I put in, hey, I want to use the start date and I want to use the end date. These are how they show up, right? So variable start date, variable end date. And let's just say, hey, I want to use variables. I would like to use variables in the where of start and end date. These ones. All right. Let's see if it works. I've had this not work probably more times than it does work. So we'll see here. It's going. All righty. And we're just going to grab that, blow it out, put it in, hit run, see what happens, and I'll show you if it errors. This might work, might not work. Okay. Hey, quick interruption. If you are wanting to have your PostHog set up correctly the first time, or maybe you've been working on it and you want to have it correctly done, you want to look at using your actual endpoints. You want to look at embedding PostHog into your product, using it to fuel your growth. Go ahead and reach out, visionlabs.com/contact. Talk to one of our reps and we will get you sorted and get your instance matching your strategy, your execution, and your product all aligned so you can go faster than you ever have before. So what might happen to you is you're saying, hey, we have this is null or situation happening here. That could be part of the problem. I'm not going to go through reading it, but we also have the problem of what are the populating the variables. So if we click on here of start date, I want to look at, let's just go wild, it will be February 1st, and we want the end date to be March 1st. Hit apply, and then we have to rerun this with those variables now set. Hey, it worked. Okay. So now we have these variables that we can now use in our endpoint to return data that is a smaller size, right, based on what we're looking at. And I'm not going to talk about optimization here from your front end versus back end. I'm not an engineer. I don't claim to be. I'm more of a marketer and a product person than I am an engineer, but I can get by. Okay, here we go. So now we have this. We can save this as an endpoint. So I'm going to call this let's just call this users and events daily. I'll put daily up front, daily there. And I'm going to also put this for YouTube because I'm recording a video for everybody here. So now we get an endpoint. This is where you get to have things be fun and exciting. This endpoint now you can use for reporting on, you hit this with the endpoint. It's really straightforward. All you need to do is use your personal API key and it is off to the races. I'm not going to talk about the front end too much right now. We're going to talk about more on this end of things. Here under configurations, you can say, hey, what's the cache age? And then you can turn on materialization, which that will store the values of the query. Okay. Then you have versions here. So when you save new versions, it does that. And then there's playgrounds to try it out, see how it goes there. And this is what it will look like because you have the start date and the end date within these queries. I'm not breaking anything rocket science, but under here, I want to talk really fast about the idea of materialization. Right now, I don't know how this works. We don't know exactly what's happening on the size when you turn this on versus turn this off. Is it creating the new endpoint? Is it not? For how does data get materialized? So I'm going to show you like a way to do it manually, and then maybe PostHog will be more specific about how their materialization does work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a way to do it so that you know if you're going to, hey, I'm going to use this like I am on the front end. Like we have our website, people can go interact with it, and I want it to be really, really fast, even if we have a very complicated query. How do we do that? So turning on materialization, you could say, hey, it's going to set the frequency to once a day, once every hour, once every 5 minutes. If you wanted more, if you want to change that, let me show you another way to do that. So I'm not going to save this. I'm just going to go back. And we're going to create that same query. So where's our YouTube query? I'm going to copy this entire query. We are then going to open up a new tab and we're going to create a materialized view. So this is going to be something that you might, let me see, SQL editor. We're going to paste that in. I'm going to hit run. And materialized views, you cannot have filters within. So I'm just going to delete these. Bam, there we go. And we're going to hit run again just to make sure it works. There we go. I'm going to get rid of the limit because I don't think that does anything when you're doing this. So what you're going to do is run this query. Now that we modified and removed all of those individual things. And also this little tab called materialization. What we can do is we can just hit materialize this view. This will create a materialized view over here in the side. And bada bing, bada boom, we are now materialized up in this joint. So that is now a materialized view. We can then say, hey, I want to resync this daily, resync this every 5 minutes. You can go down to every 5 minutes, which I'm sure is probably not a great idea. One thing that would be really nice is if we could have this append, if it is something that is working on over time, where it appends to it, or maybe deletes the last 3 days and appends, similar to how GA4 to BigQuery works. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. We could have resync every 5 minutes, daily, whatever, and then we have this view. So now what we can do is we can go back into our endpoint, right? So we have this new view called YT daily sessions, and we can come over here and we could say, hey, I'm going to change this query. That is our endpoint, so we could be using this right now in production. Is returning date, users, and events. But I could change this and say, hey, I want to say I'm going to group all of this instead of from events. We're going to do from YT underscore daily sessions, and we're just going to select all from there where these are here, right? So I'm going to get rid of the limits, and I don't think it really matters on orders, but here we go. I'm going to hit run on that. Oh, and we are using date instead of the actual thing. I believe those are now the date fields. Let's just do this because we're gonna wrap this into toDate just to make sure that there's no times involved. All right, so I made a couple of modifications here. So we ran into some errors, so I cut out that section just because the HogQL went and did me wrong. So here what we did is we basically just put these dates with toDate around them, which apparently that works for some reason that it didn't work before. Again, I just used one of our old queries, and we can just test this to see how that goes. So if we do start date of, again, February 1st, and then we do end date of March 1st here, and we should then see that data come back. So you can see it right here. All of it is coming back. We have the 1st through today, which is the 6th. And now if we hit run, we are good to go. So now if I update this, the query will be much, much faster. So we're querying from the materialized view that is updated every hour or every minute. That is running our initial query. And then we're just basically adding on filters here. Again, this is a way that I found to be really quickly and customize those materialized view. I'm sure that the endpoints, as PostHog puts this more out in front of people, that materialized view setting will just be easier to understand what it's actually doing behind the scenes. But it's probably something like this, this is going to cost more money because we're now materializing a view and then we're querying from that view. But those materialized views, if they are actually useful, you can use throughout all of PostHog. So it's extremely helpful. So now that you have this endpoint, you can put it in your front end however you would like to. Back here, again, I will show you the underlying data that we used to do this. It was not crazy. It's nothing really, really fancy. It is a simple query that is using the underlying materialized view of PostHog to build the outcome. So if I hop back into our PostHog account and I go down to look at our endpoints, here, I will actually show you what it looks like. So here is our daily HogQL. This is what that looks like. We're querying this materialized view of daily sessions. And so if we look at this daily sessions table, you'll see right there, there is everything. So date, feature flag used, landing page, lead events, page views, sessions, source, total events. That is it. That's filling the entire front end of that dashboard. And I hope this was helpful to show you kind of a little bit of a behind the scenes of what you can do using PostHog's infrastructure once you have a solid event structure set up on the front end, once you are understanding how to use it as a CDP, and once you have your product data fueling the entire experience within the platform. That then allows you to come and focus on better questions and better outcomes.